It's Fish Week for the Johnny Appleseed Park District Virtual Day Camp this week. Hey campers, welcome to our 4th week of Virtual Day Camp. I'm Beth, naturalist with the Johnny Appleseed Park District, and it's all about fish this week. Now, before we talk about fish this week, we better know what a fish is, right? So I want you to think about all the animals in the whole wide world. Scientists divide them into 2 big groups. One group are all the animals that have a backbone. They're called vertebrates. We have a backbone. You can feel it if you lean over a little bit and rub your back right down the center. There's some bumps there. That is your backbone. We are a vertebrate, like lots of animals. There's another big group of animals that are called invertebrates. They don't have backbones. Things like worms and insects and spiders and jellyfish and squid and all kinds of animals that don't actually have a backbone. But we're going to focus on those animals that do have a backbone. And scientists divide them into five major groups. One of those groups are the fish. Oh! Let's try that again. Here is a fish. It's called a bluegill. Fish have backbones like all vertebrates. They are one of 5 different groups of vertebrates. Fish are covered in scales, and that makes them a little bit different from other vertebrates. Things such as mammals that are covered in fur and birds that are covered in feathers and reptiles that are covered in dry, scaly skin like snakes and turtles. And the 4th other group, I hope you can see him. It's a frog, a tree frog. They are amphibians like salamanders and toads and frogs. They're covered in kind of slimy, wet, smooth skin. So this week, we're gonna talk all about fish. What makes a fish different from other mammals, birds, amphibians, and reptiles? So, what makes a fish a fish? What makes fish different from other animals? We've talked about 2 things already. Number 1, they're all covered in scales. Number 2, they all have a backbone. That's why they're called a vertebrate. A 3rd thing about fish that I think most people know is that fish live in the water. They cannot survive for very long outside of the water. They spend their entire life swimming under the water. And they actually are able to breathe under the water. They are animals, and all animals need to be able to breathe. We breathe in something called oxygen. Now, for us humans, we actually breathe the oxygen out of the air that surrounds us. When we take in a deep breath, we fill up something in our body called our lungs. In fact, let's do this. Everybody take in a deep breath. Oh, and let it go. You've just filled your lungs up with air, which has oxygen in it. And that's what we need in order to survive. If we were to spend our life living under the water, we couldn't do it. We can't breathe under the water. Our lungs would fill up just with the water and we would drown and die. Fish are the opposite of us, though. They can't live on land and breathe the air like we do. They have to breathe underwater. And the way that they're able to do this is because they have something special called gills. Gills are located under a flap of skin, kind of behind their mouth and eye. And I'm hoping that you can see the gills underneath there. They're red and they're kind of fluffy and stringy. And what the fish is able to do is use those gills to pull the oxygen out of the water. Fish don't have lungs like we do. They breathe with gills. And what they do is they take water through their mouth. The water goes past their gills and out their body. And as it goes by the gills pull all that oxygen out of the water so that they can breathe underwater. What do you say we become fish? You ready? So fish have to open their mouth to pull the water in. Get your gills right here, back behind by your ears. And you're going to pull in water. And it's going to go past your gills. Are you doing your fish face? Pull in the water and allow your gills to absorb the oxygen so that as a fish you can breathe underwater. So let's look closely at our bluegill again. Can you see him opening and closing his mouth and pulling the water in? And then his gills right here are absorbing the oxygen out of the water so that he can continue to breathe. All right, campers. Dan and I have a fabulous week planned. We're going to be doing some fishing. We're going to be doing some crafts. We're going to hear a story. We're going to see some great photographs. All kinds of wonderful things this week, focusing on fish. Can't wait to share with you this week. We'll see you soon. Bye.